Jel.
Hey, I'm Ray.
Let's go cruising.
You got yourself together first?
Yes.
Okay.
Coco's with us. Lottie stayed home with Grandma.
Lottie's at Grandma's.
Ha! Oh my god, it looks scary.
That was perfect.
Anyway, how are y'all? I don't say y'all.
I say y'all.
How are all yous?
Oh. That was worse.
I know my mom hates it too.
Oh, it's like nails on a chalkboard.
So you guys are ready to go cruising?
Me's. I can't even come up with a comment for that. Like, oh, I was taught proper grammar. I'm sorry.
Ice is ready.
Oh.
And hers is ready.
Well, me's, I guess, is ready too. Woof.
Oh, man.
Ole.
I got extra sleep, so I'm just spunky
You're
today.
bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
Yes.
I'm just slap happy.
Guys, put your seatbelts on. Or as my dad likes to say, put the red seat on!
Just yells, growls at you.
He always growls at us.
It's really, though, true. Wear your seatbelts. As much as annoying as people claim it is, it's, from personal experience, it is a lifesaver. So,
Just to be safe.
yeah.
So, how many of y'all, these guys, likes doggies?
Doggies!
I am a low-key a dog person.
No. No.
Well, we're back on our dog breeds. Last time we talked about my pain in the ass, my precious Dalmatian, Lottie Dottie. And we talked all about Dalmatians. This time, we're doing Rachel's little precious guy.
Little Cocoa Puff, my dachshund.
Yes, she also has a dog named Coco.
I did, yeah.
That was kind of
R.I.P. Puff.
Yes, rest in peace, little buddy. But I loved how we both, bonded over the fact that we spell our Cocos a certain way.
Yes! Most people spell their Cocos like C-O-C-O.
He ain't no coconut.
No, and I remember even when I was little, I got Cocoa Puff, mind you, when I was like 9.
Oh, we didn't even say what he was.
He's a dachshund. I did.
He's a dachshund.
Yep. And when I got Cocoa Puff, if you guys or anybody listening is a Colorado native, I got him at South Glen Mall when it was still a mall. Like,
oh my gosh.
indoors, all that jazz. Had Sears, it had a Sam Goody, like,
oh my God.
yeah, way throwback. But now it's just like an outdoor walk around mall, you know, it's got the Best Buy and everything, Macy's. But
How old were you?
I'm trying to remember. I think it was the summer of 6th grade going into 7th grade.
You were a child.
I was
You were a baby.
I was a preteen. I was a brat.
You were just a baby.
I remember my mom. I remember that day very specifically. My sisters were not home. It was a Saturday, and they weren't home because they were doing some school event. And my mom and my tia were wanting to go to the mall to go shopping, as women do. But they had to take me since I was apparently too young to stay home alone. But whatever. So I remember getting there, and as soon as we walked in, there was Pet City, as what they called it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Pet City. I think Buckingham Square had one too.
I'm pretty sure there was one at the Southwest Plaza.
Probably. Actually, there was. Yeah,
There
they
was.
sold bunnies there. I remember.
I remember we used to always want to go to the pet store.
Which, as I'm in there, you know, looking around, they usually had like these little areas with like acrylic square tables, where they would have puppies where you can kind of touch and play with them.
Like a meet and greet for the puppies.
Kind of, but they were there for people to see and pet as they walked through. A selling tactic.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yes, I remember.
It was the same with the bunnies, you know.
Yes.
And so I remember looking for some, and all of a sudden my mom says, "Rachel, mira," and she points out a window, and she told me to look. And and there was one Dachshund puppy just rolled up in a ball, and he was just staring at us with these big, giant, floppy ears. And
I post pictures of him because he was the cutest thing ever.
I love him.
Little
I miss him
weenie.
so much. But that was love at first sight. Love at first sight. And I asked her, I was like, can we say hi to him? Like, is it okay if we bring him out? And she was like, meh. So we go into one of their little back rooms where we can have our meet and greets. And my mom, she's the type of lady that when she's comfortable somewhere and sits down, she'll take off her chanclas. She'll take off her sandals. So she sat down, she's letting me play with this puppy. And then
Mom is so funny, I love it.
as I'm playing with this puppy, I'm like, I nonchalant, can we keep him? I'm already expecting her to say no, because my mom always went straight to no. And she like looked at him, he jumped in her shoe, and he fit. He fit in her shoe. He was a little bit smaller. And mind you, we were 7.5 feet. So, I mean, it's already small enough. And he jumped in, and at that moment, she just looks at me. She was like, you have to go to church every Sunday. Your room needs to be clean.
She gave you ultimatums.
Yeah, she gave me huge ultimatum. She was like, you can't talk back. You can't do this. I'm like, okay. Never happened. But in the end, I came home with a puppy.
He was a spunky little dachshund.
I miss him. He passed last year.
He was a good dog.
But with dachshunds in general, because anybody who has a dachshund, you'll relate to a lot of these. That's the thing, too. A lot of people pronounce it Dachshund. I've had dachshunds, 3 dachshunds my entire life. I still I still call them dachshunds. Call it what you want.
I used to say dachshunds when I was
Dachshund!
young.
That's the other one I've heard. I couldn't think of the other one.
That's how I used to call it. And then when I went into grooming, I was like told that that's not how you say it. And luckily I never said it in front of anybody, but they were talking shit about somebody else who said it. And I was like, oh yeah, that's so wrong.
See, that's the thing though. As a dog trainer, I've heard so many pronunciations of so many breeds, and everybody, no matter how you pronounce it, no matter what, they're always going to say it's wrong.
My favorite is the bitchin' frisee.
The Bichon. The bitchin' frisee.
That's how we used to call it.
It's a bitchin'.
Just being stupid. You know,
Oh my
it's just
God,
funny.
I love it.
Play on words.
But either which way.
The dachshund.
The dachshund.
The weenie dog.
If you guys are trying to correct, like, that's not how you say it. I'm sorry. This is how I say it. So the average size and life of a dachshund, the height for a standard usually goes for like 8 to 9 inches tall. A miniature is about 5 to 6 inches tall. Cocoa Puff, when we got him, it said on his paperwork and birth certificate that he was a miniature. Now with weight, a standard is between 16 to 32 pounds. A miniature is 11 pounds and under. Coco was 19 pounds at the end of his life. Towards the end, anyway.
Baby.
So, I don't know exactly if he really was a miniature or not, or if he was a bigger miniature. But the life expectancy of a dachshund is typically between 12 to 16 years. My little guy passed last year at 19.
You know, I think they should update that, because the fact that I looked up was that they have long lifespans, and it said it was like 18.
Okay, now this was off akc.org, so I would agree. But at the same time, I met a pet parent at the store, and her dachshund was 22 when he passed. I was like, damn.
Little dogs can...
They
live
can
a long
fight.
time. Like, the, Chihuahuas,
Oh, yeah.
Dachshunds, Shih Tzus. Shih Tzus last a while.
The smaller the dog breed, definitely the longer the
Unfortunately,
lifespan.
yeah, and the bigger the dog, the shorter their lifespan is. Which
Sadly.
is very sad.
It is,
Like,
yeah.
the bigger they are, the shorter your life is. Like,
It's even the same with humans. I mean, Andre the Giant.
damn. That's one way to put it into perspective. Wow.
That guy could down 30 beers and be okay. Literally, I'm not even exaggerating. Like, but with dachshunds in general, and again, if you own one, they're known as, via AKC, curious, friendly, and spunky.
Which he was.
Yes. I will say he was very spicy as well. Because that dog was friendly when he wanted to be. But if he knew you, he's friendly, he's fine. If he didn't know you, he'll let you know if he didn't like you or not. He bit that old man neighbor of mine, remember?
Yeah, the one who owned Goofy?
Yeah, I forgot about
remember
Goofy.
Him. He brought us some wine one time, I remember.
From New Zealand.
Yeah.
He's like, you girls like wine? We're both, yes.
I know. Coco showed his spiciness with me. He never bit me or anything. But this fool definitely was his mother's dog.
I love this.
Because, so her and her husband at the time, they went out on vacation. So me and my boyfriend at the time, we were babysitting Coco. And this little ass, I took him outside and he had his little harness on, whatever, which he slips out of so easily. It's like pointless
Short
to have
legs.
that on. Yes, his short legs. So he like slipped out of his thing. He was like, no, okay, before he slipped out, we were outside and he dead weighted and leaned to one side because he wanted to go a specific way. And I was like,
that was his signature.
I was like, no, we're like, the girls want to go this way. So I was trying to go the opposite way and he was leaning and then until finally the harness just slipped off over his head and he just pranced off nonchalantly like, I'm still going this way. He didn't run, he didn't dart, he pranced nonchalantly
the way
to
he
the
wanted
spot,
to go.
yeah, where he wanted to go, and he peed. And I was like,
And he peed.
I was like, oh, hey, come back here. And I was like, I didn't
You're
want
holding on to the girls, but you're trying to
yes,
get him.
and I didn't want to scare him because, like, you know how some dogs, when they're off leash and they get in this play mode, so they run away from you and it causes havoc.
He was like 17 at the time.
Yes, but I still didn't want him to dart from me, so I was just following him around. I was like, come back here. Put this on, Coco. And he's trotting away from me. And I'm just like, hey, come back here. And this fool looked me up and down. Like, his little head bobbed up to my toes. Like, looked me up and down like, bitch.
You are not my mama.
And I was like, ah! I was so offended. And the fool went up to my room, like, not my room, but to my apartment door. And he was just waiting, like, okay, I'm done.
Like, isn't this what you wanted?
Let me in now. I was just like, and I called her immediately. I was like, he is your son. He just looked me up and down and called me a bitch. Like, I know he did. He looked me up and down, eyed me like,
head to toe. Like,
bitch.
That's my boy.
Amount of sass.
But back on to his roots. See, and again, a lot of people I'm sure will have similar stories like that. Dachshunds are very sassy.
The attitude.
It's the German. I'm German too. I get it. I'm
Just
German.
like his mama.
Yep,
The
German.
attitude.
German Chilean is a dangerous sauce. But Dachshunds, though, as far as family life, are very affectionate. And I will agree with that. He was extremely affectionate with my mom, my tias, with me, anybody who would give him love, he would barnacle on you. I remember
so
when I would sleep with him when I was younger, which, mistake, I gave him intense separation anxiety. But he would wrap around my neck. Yeah, I loved that so much. But they are pretty good with young children, kind of in the middle there. I mean, I say pretty good because it depends on training. Because I'm going to admit, yes, I was a dog trainer for 11 years plus. I didn't train Coco as a kid. I didn't know about training until I got to the store and realized that dogs should get training. Just brushed over my head completely. And then I realized, oh, this is why he does everything he does. But it wasn't too late to fix it, even though he was old.
fascinating to, like, learn
Oh, yeah.
all of the behaviors? Like, that's why you do that. Like,
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of
It
mind
still
blows.
is. It still is. You're not a good dog trainer unless you're learning something new every day about a dog. And I am, honestly, whether it be a new breed, like a Georgia Pit.
They're so cute.
Or whether it
It's a
be...
pit bull with tufts on her ears.
Yeah. I'll have to really look into that. But I will say, though, with Dachshunds, they are generally good with other dogs. Coco, again, had his attitude like me, but it was because I didn't socialize him. He was socialized with the other dogs at the house that we had.
He liked my girls.
As he got older. But when he was younger, he had bite history, girl. He's been at least
you've told me about that.
Yeah. And as far as other dogs, I don't think so, because I remember one time, like, he would bark. Oh, don't get me wrong, he was a barker. And
they are barkers.
Heavily. And when
they're hound dogs.
When there was a dog that was off leash, and I was at my place, and I was taking him out to go potty, and once he touched the grass, the dog, like, was already in front of his face. I didn't even see him coming. And luckily the dog was nice, but still, like...
It invaded his space.
Yeah. And Coco was quiet. Like, he was like, oh my God. And the guy was like, hey, come on over. And he called his dog over, and the dog went away. Once the dog turned the corner, then Coco was like, what? Like, started talking smack. And I'm like, really, bro? Really?
Oh my gosh, they're so funny when they do shit like that. And
we had an adoption event one time, and there was a big old pit bull or shepherd, I don't remember exactly, but it was a large dog in a kennel, and he was obviously reactive. Mm-hmm. And there was this family coming around, and the blanket was over the crates. So it was to help block the dog. I witnessed this. So the dachshund coming around the corner is just like, he sees the crate move, like, because it reacted at him. And the dachshund's like, shit! And, like, he jumped back, but then in a 2-second moment was like, what? Like, when he saw that dog was in a crate, that's when he realized, like, God. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
Man. Shit talker. So are you, Coco. Being little and all.
She's like, what?
You're still categorized as little.
Now, with dachshunds, though, in general, like, as different as they all are, they're all famously known for their long, low silhouettes. They have a very alert expression. They're very bold and vivacious as well. And they come in various coats and patterns, which I'm sure you'll get into. But in general, there are a lot of things you want to make note of with dachshunds. So they're obviously not built for long distance running. Their little tiny legs cannot handle that.
Why do you say
that? Leaping, strenuous swimming. I do remember one of my dachshunds growing up, PJ. He did like swimming.
PJ.
But you can't let them do it for too long, because they can gulp that water, and yeah, they'll get all bloated and stuff. But
they're little lowriders.
Yep, exactly. But other than that, they're game for whatever. And they're really smart, really vigilant, and yeah, they come with a big bark, so they make really good watchdogs. And those floppy ears, like, because they are hound dogs, like, they were bred to hunt badgers, essentially. And when Coco was a puppy, he would dig. He would try to dig tunnels, but they would collapse, so it was like little mazes in the backyard.
I'm sure that's one of, like, the many complaints that dachshund owners would have, is they dig holes.
He would dig into the couch.
Yeah, they burrow.
He would love to burrow into the blankets. He was a burrower. So, again, a lot of things people don't recognize. They're like, oh, well, they're little dogs. They don't require, a lot of exercise. And they're stubborn. Like, they're really stubborn. The thing is, they were bred to be independent hunters of dangerous prey, like badgers. So they can be really brave to the point of not listening. Like, they're like, it's like the soldier who doesn't listen to his commander. No, I need to do this. Yeah. And it ends up being a good decision, but it's because they're on a mission. And that's why it's kind of like huskies.
Just like a lot of hound dogs are.
Yeah. He's just in the zone. And it's, again, going back to the tunnel vision.
And it's not healthy for dogs in general to be overweight.
No.
And unfortunately, a lot of people just aren't aware of, like, a couple pounds is like 30, 20 pounds.
Yeah. That's a lot for your
dog. He only gained 2 pounds.
That's
in dog standards, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Just like their years.
I had a pet parent who would give his dog meat fat all the time, and it was a dachshund, a long-haired one. And I remember telling him that same thing, like, you got to be a little careful, because, those little legs have to support his back.
Well, and that clogs their arteries. It, like, makes their stomachs bigger.
More importantly, it can cause herniated discs. And that hurts. I've sneezed the wrong way and hurt a disc. That hurts. So I'm just saying, don't overfeed your dachshunds or chihuahuas or whatever you have.
And because of the long bodies that they have, jumping up and down from high places, especially if they're overweight, will snap their spine. And unfortunately, it can cause paralyzation or slip discs. It can cause like
a lot of
collapse on the arms. Like,
a lot of expensive procedures.
It's a lot of things you need to be mindful that because they're short, you need to get them stairs, you need to get them little ramps, or you need to pick them up. You know, you just got to be a little bit more careful.
And because of those hound dog ears that help them smell, because as they walk and flap, it like flaps the air like into their nostrils and stuff, even with the long noses. They can still get ear infections. Mm-hmm. So you have to be mindful of cleaning those also. But in the end, with the health and whatnot, yeah, you got to think of other forms of stimulation, because no, they can't handle long walks. So go on a 10, 15 minute sniff walk. You don't even have to leave the front yard if you don't want to. Let your dog sniff around. Leave the house though, please. Like, yeah, the front yard, but if you don't have like a built-in fence, your dog's not always in the front yard. Mm-hmm. So by all means, let them explore. You staring at your phone and scrolling is the same thing as your dog getting that same well, not the same, but getting information from the grass, from people just walking by.
How they kill time.
It's stimulation though for the brain. Yeah. Also, like I've done that with Lottie before. Mm-hmm. Like I'll take her either hiking, or if I don't feel like walking too far out, I'll just let her sniff the parking area for like a while, and she's just as tired.
Yeah, just as tired. She loves being in the front yard. Coco too, because if you don't, they start getting into shit at home, just like Coco did.
Exactly.
He destroyed your house.
Oh my god. So that was a different sign of stress.
Yes, but
he was showing
destroyed
signs of stress.
Your house.
He did. I came home and he somehow pushed down the pet gate that I had for him, that I had blocking out my bedroom.
He's like 16, 17 still, right?
He was like 18. No, maybe 17, 18 at this point. No, actually, between the 16 and 19 range, you're right.
Either way, he was already old as hell.
And he pushed down this gate that I made a point to make sure it was tight in the threshold. And then he destroyed my closet, knocked everything down. And I come home and he's... Yeah, and the trash. And I come home and he's just standing on top of the gate that's knocked over, like making a point.
This bitch took a picture to show proof to me.
I was like, girl.
And she showed my little sister, because she loved Coco. Valentina loves Coco. And what did she say when she saw the picture?
How can something so little just make so much destruction or something like that?
We're going to have to post that picture. But it's him standing on the gate that he knocked over, on top of all of the shit that he knocked over. The trash was knocked over, so it was just everywhere, and he's just standing on top of it.
Yeah,
just
she's
staring
on the mountain, and she's like, how can something so little do so much damage? That's what she said. And that was a different story. I was going through things, and he was definitely feeding off of it. But that's the thing too with dachshunds, is that with their training and whatnot, they do need a lot of mental stimulation and not a ton of exercise, but they do need it for those legs. Mm-hmm. And a good way of to get them exercised is exercising the brain. So snuffle mats, puzzle toys are perfect for dachshunds. Mm-hmm. Perfect, because of that nose.
That hunting drive too.
And like you said, he used it to get to the trash. That dog, though, he was too smart. So whatever I gave him, he would knock out in 5 minutes. Even if it was advanced, expert, no matter what I did, he'd knock it out. He was a smart, wise dog. So that's the thing, too, with training, though, is that very intelligent, very independent, but, again, they are very stubborn because of it. So they can be a little tough to train, kind of like huskies are, like any dogs. But they love to give and receive a lot of affection. And so they do obviously best with positive reward-based training, like any animal. Any animal, including humans, are going to do with positive reinforcement. That's the way to do it. And they are sensitive. And so they're not going to react good to harsh commands or harsh punishments. Nope. Nor would any dog. Nor should any dog. This is my opinion, though. In my head, I'm like...
Professional opinion.
Yeah, this is my professional opinion. You're basically jerking fear into your animal by inflicting pain on it. That's what's calming him down. No, it's not calming him down. You're inflicting fear to give him a behavior that you want, which is just not reacting. It's not calming your dog down. Think what you will. That's my opinion. But needless to say, though, these dachshunds, again, have strong sense of smell, which means they have a strong prey drive. So bunnies, squirrels, yeah, that's a big thing. Coco would try to square up with bunnies. He would. But as he got older, he knew there was no way.
His little face.
His little butt. I love his little butt.
Oh,
But that's the other thing that I found interesting, though. They were bred to stay focused and to follow a trail without being distracted, just to stay busy, and that's that tunnel vision. So that's the other reason why they come off as stubborn, because they won't always be paying attention to you. And I remember that on his walks. He was always on a mission. It wasn't always smelling. He was just on the go, staring forward. He wouldn't pick things up, per se. When I was younger, I should have taken him on more walks, but even then, he was just on the go, forward.
poor little guy.
Yeah. That dog, though, he was awesome. He was my emotional support animal. Like, he'd gone through hell and back with me since I was in 7th grade.
Oh, poor baby. R.I.P. Cocoa Puff. Puff Daddy.
But what did you get from your information?
So, as we all know, I'm a groomer. And so grooming a dachshund, they're actually surprisingly low maintenance.
Thank God.
I mean, yes, you still should keep them clean. You should brush them. You should do their nails. But you don't have to do it as often as you would with, like, your long-haired Maltese or, like, your huskies that need to be blown out every 6 weeks or so. Like, it's not that much maintenance to do, but you should still take care of them. And so the first is they're smooth, which was what Cocoa Puff was. And then there's a long-haired dachshund, and then there's wired-hair dachshund. So with all of those, yes, they still shed.
Yeah, they do. Coco did shed quite a bit.
Yes, they shed. So, like, the smooth hair one, like, you want to keep washed or, like, at least cleaned, like, at least once a month and brushed out at least once a week, just to maintain the shedding that they have.
What kind of a brush should you use?
The rubber curry brush.
I agree.
Surprisingly, I don't use furminators. I don't like those. I mean,
on any long, smooth, whatever?
No, they really don't work. They're, like, more of a finishing touch-up comb, and because the comb part is actually like little teeth, you can cut skin with that.
Yeah, you can get pretty good razor burn.
I just kind of tell people, like, yeah, you can use that, but I would use it only for, like, no more than 10 minutes because
Ouch.
They're sharp. But a rubber curry is like, it almost looks like it's a rubber brush, and it has like little cones,
like silicone.
Yeah, at the bottom, and that's what you use to brush out the hair, and it just falls off.
Oh, it's so satisfying.
And it's almost like a massage for them, so they love that.
And you can use it wet or dry, huh?
Yeah, you can use it when you're washing them, and it helps get all of the loose hairs that's trying to shed to come out, and then you can use it after, brushing them out. For a long-haired dachshund, you might want to, like, look into, depending, because some of the long-haired dachshunds, they have wispies, like golden retrievers do, on their legs, on their butt, and, like, their ears and stuff. Yes, they still can get matted, depending on how long it is. So you can either shave them, or you can just get, like, we call it perimeter trims. So it's just, like, outlining all of the feathering on the legs, the butt, the ears, and stuff, just to keep it maintained. Long-haired dachshunds are so freaking cute. They're so cute. And then the wired hair ones, those ones are usually, like, bigger in size.
Yeah.
That I personally have seen. And they literally have wiry hair, like a terrier.
Scruffy little things.
And they're scruffy. Again, you can either shave them or just do an outline trim and just kind of, like, get them neatened up. But you still want to brush their hair because it can still get tangled. It can still attract, like, especially since they're lowriders, it can attract, like, stickers or, like, leaves and stuff and gunk that gets stuck in their hair. So you really need to focus on, like, the belly parts.
Yeah, I've seen some nasty mats that you've shown me that had, like, nails and stuff in them, or somebody I think Molly one time showed me there was, like, staples and stuff in the mat.
Yeah, and some dogs attract some nasty shit. And that's just from straight up just not even touching your dog, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You brush your hair, brush your dog's hair.
But yes, all in all, though, it's still pretty low maintenance.
Yeah.
You can do it yourself, or you can take them to the groomers. Either way. The one thing I will say that they absolutely need, at least once a month, is nail trim.
Yeah.
They need their nails done quite frequently. Probably, if not once a month, like every 2 weeks.
Little Coco had claws, man.
Because their claws grow really, really long. And the thing about that is, if you want to think about it in this way, because they're so short and they're so light, they don't have enough body pressure to grind them themselves when they go on a walk.
Yeah.
So they grow extra long, which means the vein, if you want to call it, the quick inside the nail will grow longer too. So
that's why Coco had
then it makes it harder to keep them shorter, because the vein will grow long, and that's what makes it hard for them to cut. And in serious cases, you'd have to go get them cauterized.
No.
But if you just go get them grinded and filing them down, not just trimming, I would say like file them down with the nail grinder to keep them short, because they do grow out of control.
Yeah. My little guy had some long nails.
Yeah. I would help her with that.
Frequently.
Yep. That's one of the main things I would say. I wouldn't even say like you need to give them a haircut. No, I get those nails done, at least.
Nails.
That's the most important thing.
Nails,
but
hair,
all in all, like I said, they're pretty low maintenance and they're so fun to do. They're little shitheads for nail trims, though, because they're so short.
Little wiggle worms.
Oh man, it's so hard to hold them and like hold their little stumpy legs. And then their faces are like right there, so they can still bite you. But I love them. I think Dachshunds are so cute.
They're precious.
So, and then I just looked up a couple fun facts about Dachshunds that Rachel may have not mentioned. Which one of them, did you know that they come in 15 different colors?
I knew they came in a ton of different colors.
15! And that can be just a mix of colors. Brown, black, white,
fawn.
Tricolor, fawn. Yeah, and there's some marble colors.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they come in all kinds of different colors.
And markings.
Mm-hmm. Very, very unique. And like she said before, that they are badger hounds and they do come in 3 sizes. They were a favorite breed to Queen Victoria.
Really?
That was one of her favorite
Aww.
breeds. And she, like, I think, from the source at least, it was saying that she kind of, she made the dog a national dog.
I thought that was corgis, but that was Elizabeth, huh?
Yeah, it's Queen Elizabeth.
Oh, I didn't know Victoria did that.
Loved Dachshunds.
How cute!
And I thought this was interesting. The first Olympic mascot was a Dachshund for the 1972 Munich Olympic Games, which was in Germany.
Heck yeah!
Like she said, they do have long lifespans. And kind of to backtrack on like their health and why it's so important to like maintain a good healthy weight for them, because they are big eaters, but they have tiny stomachs, which is very dangerous. I don't know if you've seen, but like there was this dog, I don't know his name or anything, but he went viral on video and stuff like that. Like these people rescued a dachshund, and he was so overweight. He was like triple his size.
Baby.
He couldn't walk. Couldn't walk. And he was so fat, and like they worked with him though. Like these people worked with him. They took him to special exercises. They put him on a strict diet, and then he shrunk back down to a normal size.
Oh.
It took a long time, but yeah, he couldn't walk.
Poor baby.
He couldn't walk. That's how big he was, and it's very dangerous. As cute as it is to see a fat animal, but it's not healthy.
It's not healthy at all.
It's not healthy. There's a term for an in-between size for a mini and a standard. Do you know what it is?
I don't think so.
It's a tweenie.
Oh,
They're called tweenies.
I didn't know that.
I thought that was really cute.
That's adorable.
Then that's the size in between a mini and a standard dachshund.
Maybe Coco was a tweenie.
Ah! He was a tweenie. Then they are considered the smallest hunting breed in the AKC.
Heck yeah.
In the hunting group. Mm-hmm. And another fun fact was, enough for them to say, is they're really good jumpers.
Ironically,
very agile enough to be put on that they can jump.
when Coco was a puppy, yeah, he was a good little leaper. Like, I remember watching his feet. His little back feet and butt were so cute when he jumped.
Little short legs. Yeah, so
They fly.
even though they are short and they have little stumpy legs,
They're
apparently
springs.
they're little slinkies. They jump.
They shouldn't do it a lot, is what they're implying.
No. But that was an interesting thing I saw. I was like, okay, they're jumpers. So be aware of that with
You
your
know,
dogs.
to be fair, when I was a teenager, I did teach Coco to jump up and give me kisses. I'd be like, kisses! And he would jump up and kiss me.
Oh, I hope you get another one. I know it's still probably too soon, but
Yeah.
I'm sure one will come to you.
We'll
And it'll
see.
be a long-haired dachshund who's a girl, and you'll name her what?
Vienna. Nobody take that, TM. It's mine.
I love.
I've already heard it, but I'm just saying, I'm taking it now.
That's funny. Yeah, I told her she has to get a long hair so I could put bows in her hair and like
Oh,
her
heck yeah.
haircuts and
Oh,
like
heck
make
yeah.
her all bougied up. I loved getting dachshund for haircuts.
They're so cute.
The long-haired ones, at least.
Well, yeah. Oh, my baby. I miss him so much.
He was a good dog.
Yep.
Oh man.
So much personality. And again, all you dachshund owners will agree.
if
And I've
you-
owned 3 of them.
And if you are thinking about owning one, just take in consideration what we said and just kind of do your research.
Yeah, do your research.
Just like you would any other dog or animal that you want to adopt or
And like
in.
any dog, train it. Just train it. It doesn't have to be anything extreme. Just do the basics.
You don't have to do classes. Just work with your dog.
Yeah,
That's all it is.
socialize him. You know, get the sniffies out. Let him understand what's good and what's not, and do it positively.
Beware of the jumping,
Yeah.
the digging, and the,
I will say,
the attitude.
Coco, ironically, thankfully, never had back issues, and that's because he didn't do a lot of strenuous activity like that. So it saved us a pretty penny, because I've heard a lot of pet parents in my years tell me stories of how much an x-ray cost, and whether they have to decide or not, like, can we afford the mortgage, or can we help the dog?
I would just say keep in mind if your dog has a long body, like Coco, actually, my Coco, actually has a long body as well. So like she has stairs now. But just little dogs with long bodies, just little dogs in general, you just gotta be just a little bit more aware.
Mm-hmm. Be mindful.
And just be mindful
and
that
considerate.
they need help getting up and down, because one little jump, one little like leap can screw them up.
Like a sneeze.
It sucks, but it's just something to just keep in mind, just so you don't have to go through that. That's unfortunately how my mom's poodle passed away. She had a slipped disc. Could have been from anything, and that's what they told us. And so just keep in mind of that with with your little tiny guys. But we love dogs, and today was all about dachshunds.
Oh, the little dachshunds.
Dachshunds, whatever you
want to call it. But
Weenie dogs.
my Coco Puff.
Coco. Oh, Puff.
Little Puff.
Respect your sweet little sugar mama.
You sugar bear.
I love it. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Thanks for cruising with us. Yes, Coco, we see you too. We love you too. But you can always look us up on YouTube. Let's Go Cruising with Jel and Rae. So remember to put Jel, J-E-L, and Rae, R-A-E. So Let's Go Cruising with Jel and Rae on YouTube. And you can look us up on Instagram and follow us there as well. Let's Go Cruising Podcast. And you can always email us. You can tell us about your dogs or a breed that you want. Trust me, we'll cover all of them. We'll try to.
Show us your babies.
So show us your babies. We'll post some pictures on the Instagram, and you'll see Coco Puff.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll post some other cute pictures of doggies. And if you guys want, submit some and let us know if you're okay with us tagging your dogs in it and stuff.
Heck yeah.
Again, that's Let's Go Cruising Podcast at gmail.com. And Let's Go Cruising with Jel and Rae. So like, subscribe, share to us. Let's start getting a cruise going, man.
Let's do it.
But thanks. We're going to cruise on home, and we'll see you next week.
Adios.
Adios.